tell you the real danger in the future, and that is that we will increasingly move towards being this trivialization of mechanistic dead matter. We will supposedly upgrade the human body with all sorts of devices like infinite memory and ability to see an ant at 1,000 miles away, and the ability to hear conversations on the other side of the planet, which we've got already, of course, to some extent. The Zoom meeting. And that they will eclipse our ideas, our intuition, our consciousness. We'll be so entranced by these toys and become robotic in the sense that we become a complex of the toys and their hold they have on each other, their coordination, which again is by another set of toys. At the minute we're using Wi-Fi, aren't we? But it's easy to coordinate them. That we will become non-human as we fiddle about with the cell structure, and we change the environment, and we remove certain things that give us access to what we have seen for thousands of years as being a human being, and what the animal life has seen for a much longer period of time of being life. And we stop being life. And you could say, yes, it would be wonderful, won't it? We will have moved on to a new stage of being that's easily regulated and coordinated. And we've got the sci-fi situation, haven't we, where we're invaded by robots that simply wish to occupy the planet, and we as human life have no use for them at all, so they get rid of us. And the great battle is, how do we fend this off? And it's been built into our children's stories, if you like. We as adults watching children's movies, all these sci-fi movies and so on. It's built in to tell us it's a warning. It's an intuitive, conscious warning that we are producing for ourselves, that we see the writing on the wall, that our technology can quite simply, as is in the films, be a downfall. No one out on the Milky Way, if anyone lives so far, would stop to stare at the flash and the flare that could end your tiny life. Only a tiny man you are, you and your tiny wife, in your tiny house and your tiny car, living your tiny life. And no one out on the Milky Way, if anyone lived so far, would stop to stare at the flash and the flare that could end your tiny life. Not much one can say in response to that, is there? I think the intuitive answer is better. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above in wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. I am come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. I and my Father are one. We're children of God. The Jesus story is very simple. He came to tell us that God is our Heavenly Father. And if we get that right, we won't make these silly mistakes. We won't be walking along the top of the wall and in danger of falling off. But you have to have ears to hear. It's got to be a willingness to be cared for. Those that have ears to hear, let them hear. And if we can't learn this great lesson individually, then we don't have access to the kingdom of heaven. We carry on indefinitely in the universe of good and evil, that we might learn from such and finally make the grade. If you're smart, you graduate fast. You can be a good student. Focus. Try and hear what God's telling you. Trust Him. Don't think of Him as an awesome God. Think of Him as an awesome Dad. Loves you to bits. Loves you. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.